Alrighty.
Number 24, Karina Hernandez. Hitting cleanup and playing catcher, number 19, Haley Wenke. Batting fifth, the designated
Alrighty,
player,
good
number
afternoon
20,
and
Joelle
welcome
Moore.
everybody on this little gloomy afternoon here. It is the first of the month and the Kalamazoo Hornets are facing off against the Olivet Comets. And I'm excited. This is going to be a good one. My name is Maya Pasillas, your home game broadcaster, joined here with Colin Murphy, joining us in just a second. So the Comets here have a 2-30 overall record on the season, so having a little bit of trouble, and then in conference they're 0-12, looking to get their first win on conference play. We look over at the Hornets side and 5-25 overall, so 5 wins, 25 losses. So not the best start for them either, but you look over at conference play and it's actually 4-8. So got that about that 50% win rate. They're looking to get 2 wins out of today's doubleheader against the Comets. We're going through the lineup here on the field, so I'll take you through it. For the Hornets, you got at the top of the lineup, you got Lyndon Rabb. She's playing right field. Landry Fridsma playing center field. Then you got Rocco is going to be the designated player. Ella Newman is playing in third. Macy Ward is going to be playing left field, kind of take that place for Hinckley. Then J.C. Ryder over at second base. And then you got Delaney Lee, as per usual, playing first. Maddie Potts is going to be the leadoff pitcher for today's game. And then you got Hinckley playing shortstop, taking up that role from Emma Newlove. And then, of course, Ava Domzowski playing catcher. So I might actually get beat here by the playing of the national anthem. So following the playing of the national anthem, I will run you through the starting lineup for the Olivet Comets. And yeah, with that, we're going to let the national anthem play, and then I'll take you guys through the rest of the lineup. Alrighty, that was the national anthem. And then just to run you through the starting lineup for the Comets here, you got Alicia Gann being the starting pitcher. You got Kaylin Witkowski playing second base, Karina Hernandez playing first, Haley Wenke playing catcher, Joellen Holbrook is the designated player, Alexis Bond third base, Kaylee Ramos is shortstop, Morgan Rocco is going to be center field. Shay Lampinen is playing left field. And then Jordan Reed is going to be that right fielder and finishing off the starting lineup. But that was our starting lineups for both teams. Just about ready here. And I remind you again, the Hornets in conference play 4-8. And then Olivet looking for their first win. So, I don't know, Colin, what are you thinking? What do you think Olivet has to bring to kind of get a win out of the doubleheader today?
Well, for Olivet, as you mentioned, it's been a very difficult season. They are currently on a 27-game losing streak, but there have been some better moments of late for the Comets. 2 of their last 3 games have been decided by 1 run. That includes a conference contest against Albion and also a non-conference matchup with Oberlin. So we'll get set for the first pitch here from Gann. Rabb hits a dribbler right back to her and beats it out. There's that speed of London Rabb.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. I mean, London Rab is just so strong, not only, and right there turning the corner and taking second, it just looks like Olivet was sleeping just a little bit out on the field, but as I was going to say, London Rab so quick, and you seen it right there. She takes the base hit, and it was actually more of a swinging bunt right up the middle, right? Still able to make that her way safely to first, and then having a heads-up play to take second. I mean, what a nice start to the doubleheader here.
Yeah, caught Olivet napping, caught me looking down. I looked up, and suddenly she's on second base. But as I mentioned again, for Olivet, a 3-2 loss in their last MIAA contest against Albion, and then a 4-3 defeat at Oberlin in their last game back on Sunday, April 26th. This game originally scheduled for Wednesday at Olivet ended up being postponed and moved here to Kalamazoo due to poor field conditions. As Fritzma hits this one in the air out to left center. That's going to get into the gap. One hop off the wall. Rab comes in to score easily. It's an RBI double for Landry Fritzma.
Yeah, and way to go, Fritzma, just being able to drive it really in the opposite direction from the pitch and then kind of hit it strong enough that it stays in the air and hits that wall, giving enough time for Rab, even though she doesn't really need it with that speed, to get around the bases and score safely.
Absolutely. That's kind of the strong hitting that the Hornets have been looking for all season. It's come in kind of bursts at times. The Hornets just haven't been able to find that consistency on offense, but again, when they swing the bats well, they have been able to have some big games, and again, that's what's led to 4 wins in conference play so far. Hornets still in the mix to battle for 5th or 6th place in that MIAA as Rocco pops this one up. Shallow right, coming in and making the catch is Jordan Reed, and so that'll be the first out.
So that's positive right there for all of it, especially after giving up a run so early, right? Definitely not the start that they're looking for, but if they're kind of just chip away and get the outs as time goes on, you start to feel a little bit more confident as a team. So definitely something that they got to try to settle into right now is try to get these outs, especially with another runner in scoring position.
As that one misses low to Ella Newman, and for Olivet, that first run, like you mentioned, coming in before they've even recorded the first out. Unfortunately for the Comets, that's got to feel fairly common for them on the season. They're giving up over 10.5 runs per game this year, as it has been a struggle for the Comets, especially on the defensive side of the ball. As Gann misses inside there, and it's now a 3-0 count on Ella Newman. And for Gann, walks have been an issue throughout the season. She's issued 76 free passes across 64 2/3 innings on the year. And that one misses low. It'll be the first walk of today's ball game as Fritzma kind of dances off of second, but eventually turns and heads back.
And Gann already struggling a little bit with that ERA. Got a little bit worse in conference, so I think she's really just trying to clean it up and get confident in that strike zone. Be comfortable with going high and low. She tried the inside pitch a couple times already. Hasn't gotten the call that she wanted. I think more so she's getting that outside pitch call, which kind of goes in tune with what usually happens is getting that outside pitch call.
First pitch down the middle to Macy Ward for strike one, and again, you mentioned, Gann trying to really settle herself in, and both of these programs, this is a sort of a rebuilding year. Just 2 seniors on both rosters. As the Hornets have J.C. Ryder and Emma Newlove. For Olivet, seniors Shay Lampinen and Karina Hernandez. So again, especially on the pitching side with no senior pitchers for either team, really a chance for some younger players to get some action and really grow for the future, and already looking ahead to the 2027 season. Gann ready, the 2-1 pitch to Ward. Swung on and missed. Evens up the count at 2-2.
Yeah, and Ward is a player that kind of entered in conference play, took that left field spot, and then moved Hinckley to that shortstop. It's been pretty comfortable out there. We've seen her play that position a couple times and just showing how comfortable she is to get right back in it.
Ward just gets a piece. Fouls that one off to stay alive. We've seen Ward last season as a freshman do quite a bit of catching and also playing some outfield. This season caught some at the start of the year, and then after an injury, as you mentioned, has moved out into the outfield after being out of the lineup for a couple weeks. And her return has really afforded the Hornets some roster flexibility that they really didn't have. They had to run out pretty consistent lineups game in and game out as she fouls that one off to the right side.
Yeah, and right there with that ability just to foul it off. That's one of Macy Ward's strengths. She's able to kind of look for that pitch, and it's why she's been so dominant in conference play.
So that one's low in the dirt. Makes it a full count on Ward. And to your point, Macy Ward has looked, again, a lot stronger here down the stretch of the season. She'll take that one, hit it hard but foul off to the left side. As last season as a freshman, Ward was really a strong hitter for this Hornet team. She hit .340 on the year with 8 doubles, a .442 on base percentage, 24 runs scored. You know, she was a big piece of what the Hornets expected this season as she fouls off another pitch and continues this battle with Gann. But again, that injury issue at the start of the year really limited her effectiveness. But coming on strong late, reminding people, you know, how talented she really is. Another 3-2 pitch on the way. Swung on, hit into left center. That'll get down in front of Lampinen. The throw home is not in time, off the mark as Fridsma scores. The other runners hold at second and third. It's an RBI double for Macy Ward.
Yeah, and I think it was actually a little bit of a mental error by Gann. I thought the throw was on target for Wenke, and then it looks like Gann kind of got in there, thought maybe it might have been directed towards her, but I thought Wenke was in a good position to get a hold of the ball and maybe tag out Fridsma, so unfortunate right there.
Yeah, just a miscue there from the Comets, and that will make it 2-0 Kalamazoo here. Still in the top of the first. Again, since this series was originally scheduled to be played at Olivet, so there's a failed bunt attempt. The runners were going, but able to get back into third safely is Ella Newman. So since these games, again, were scheduled as an Olivet home doubleheader, they'll play as the home team in Game 1. Will flip, and the Hornets will be the home team for Game 2. On this chilly first day of May, as this one's hit in the air by Ryder. Shallow center, actually won't quite leave the infield as shortstop Ramos able to make the play on it and keep the runners at second and third. That leaves it up to Delaney Lee, looking to add on to the 2 runs already in this inning for the Hornets, now with 2 outs and 2 in scoring position.
Has had a little bit of trouble with batting in conference play, but is looking to kind of wake up that bat today.
That one's down low. Lee, just 2 RBIs on the season. She'd love to add to that total here. And a great opportunity to do so, again, with runners at second and third. Gann ready for the 1-0. In there. Evens up the count.
Yeah, looks like maybe she was leaning for an outside pitch. Gets one down the middle. I bet she wishes she took a step back and was ready for that one.
One pitch up high. So Delaney Lee stays patient there. Won't offer at any of the first 3 pitches. Sophomore out of Saline, Michigan. It's ready now for the 2-1 from Gann. Swing and a miss. Makes the count 2-2.
All right there, just a little bit under the pitch. She definitely had eyes for it, right? She was right on point with the timing of the swing, but just under the pitch.
Swing and a shallow pop-up here. That will just get to the lip of the outfield grass and caught by the third baseman Bond. So that'll end the inning, but not before the Hornets strike first with 2 runs here in the top of the first. Olivet will come up to bat for the first time right after this. Ready for the bottom of the first inning here between Kalamazoo and Olivet. First up for the Comets, the pitcher, Alicia Gann. Gann batting .219 on the year. And takes strike one right down the middle from the Hornets starter, Maddie Potts.
And I think we talked about it a little bit, but pitcher starting off the lineup a little bit different from what we've seen. I mean, she's kind of in position to help herself, right, as she started off and pitched the first pitch just earlier, a couple moments ago, you could say.
Yeah, certainly unique to see, a pitcher leading off outside of Shohei Ohtani. You don't see a whole lot of that in baseball or softball.
I love a good Dodgers reference. I love that.
This one swung on and chopped to second. Ryder fields and flips to first. That'll be the first out as Gann wanted to chase that high one with the 0-2 count, and Potts earns her first out.
You know what? I actually do like that kind of more aggressive batting approach from Gann. I mean, if you're the Comets right now, you want to get on base. You want to kind of set yourself up for success. And whether it's a bunt, a swinging bunt, or a single, anything that you can do to try to get on that first bag, you got to be a little bit aggressive with the batting.
This one swung on, popped softly to shortstop and caught. That's Alyssa Hinckley. Again, plays primarily outfield, but has stepped in at shortstop the last few days, and there fields that one a little bit more like a fly ball to the outfield. Had to come in, make a dive, and just get Sir Glove underneath it.
And that, you said it exactly. I really think Hinckley right there, you could see the relief from her face, and she knows she's not 100% comfortable in that spot just yet. And right there to get a catch like that one, I know she's got to feel a little bit better.
Karina Hernandez now takes a first pitch ball outside. Comets first baseman, batting .239 on the year. That one ball just up and away, now 2-0.
Yeah, batting .231 on the year, has had a little bit more trouble in conference. Again, a lot of these players just trying to wake up here and kind of put their foot in the door.
Hernandez will foul that one off when she does get on base. She regularly makes the most of it, leads Olivet with 15 runs scored on the season. She's also stolen 9 bases, which is tied for most on the team. Now ready for the 2-1 from Potts. That one will be low. And so Potts will have to battle her way back in this at-bat.
Yeah, I feel like from the stats, you can kind of see that Hernandez probably has some speed. I wonder how it'd look like to see her bunt and try to beat out the throw at first.
Instead, she'll take ball 4 inside, and she'll be Olivet's first base runner this ball game. Brings up the catcher, Haley Wenke. Wenke, a junior from Aurora, Colorado. Takes strike 1 over the outside edge there from Potts. And unlike Kalamazoo, whose team is really dominated by Michigan-born players, Olivet certainly mostly Michigan-born, but a little bit wider recruiting base on their roster. Along with Wenke, you have Caitlin Witkowski from Arizona, Alexis Bond from Illinois. I suppose those are the only 3 that are out of state, so not much, but especially out in Colorado and Arizona, that's a little bit further away.
It's a little closer to where I'm from. A little piece of home right here on the field.
A little more Rockies than quite being all the way to the West Coast in California, but getting out there. Potts now ready for the 2-1. And that one just low. So back-to-back batters now at a 3-1 count.
And you can tell Potts wanted that pitch bad, especially with the 3-0 count. So trying to clean it up here. She's gotten comfortable with a couple of pitches in the first couple of batters that she's faced.
That one's in there at the knees to fill the count now, 3-2. This one swung on, hit in the air, foul. Off to the right side and out of play. This Olivet team really does not walk much. A lot of aggressive hitters on their approach. Just under 2 walks per game as a team. Another full count pitch. This one's high. And so the Comets already here in the first inning have drawn 2 walks.
Yeah, and you can tell this time here, got to give a second for Potts to kind of settle back in. And you can tell this is not how she wants to start the first inning. She knows that she can be a little bit more comfortable. It could be, sometimes it's just making a small minor adjustment, whether it's maybe flicking your wrist a little bit less than it was the first pitch or the release point or anything really, the speed in which you whip your arm. Anything can kind of fix a pitch, and I think that's what she's trying to get at here because 2 walks right here back to back, a little uncharacteristic from Potts, especially this early on into the game.
It's getting into a dangerous part of the order for Olivet as well. Joellen Holbrook at the plate. 4 doubles, 1 home run on the season. And standing in the on-deck circle, Alexis Bond batting .321 with a team high 6 doubles and 2 home runs this season. Holbrook fouls off the first pitch. As Potts looks to get out of the trouble here. 2 runners on and 2 outs. And that one's up high. Makes it a 1-1. Count now on Holbrook.
Yeah, usually Potts kind of drags in that back foot at the end of her pitch, and you can tell she's stopping it a little bit early, so could be that there's just a couple adjustments, a couple things that are uncomfortable right now.
Mentioned it's a bit of a chilly day here, especially for the start of May, as Potts has the long sleeves on. I can't remember off the top of my head if she often pitches in sleeves, but I know that's something that a lot of pitchers will talk about as being a comfort thing where they don't like the sleeves. Sometimes you have to do what you have to do to stay warm. She gets the swing and miss there to make it 2-2 now on Holbrook.
Yeah, you mentioned the sleeves. Everybody out on the field in sleeves, and a little bit of a matching day for everyone.
That one drops in. Strike 3 looking as Holbrook was not ready for that dropper. Potts gets in and out of trouble in the bottom of the first. Kalamazoo back to hit for the top of the second right after this on the MIAA Sports Network. Ready to go here for the top of the second and a battle of the pitchers with Maddie Potts stepping into the batter's box for Kalamazoo. She got the better of Alicia Gann an inning ago, getting her to ground out to second base. Now Gann back in the circle, trying to even up the score with Potts. Take strike 1 there.
Yeah, and talk about Potts, being kind of this double-edged sword here. Pretty solid in her pitching part, and then you look over at batting for conference hitting a 200, so not too bad, especially in the world of pitchers.
Next pitch goes up and away from Gann. One and one, grounded to third. Up with it and over to first in time from Bond. Potts is retired for the first out here in the second inning.
Yeah, and good on Bond there at third base to kind of time up that one hop. It was hit kind of awkwardly from Potts. And then right here also, this is what I love, and you'll see it every time with this Kalamazoo team, is that after every at-bat, there's some type of information change. And I always wonder, okay, how much information can you take from kind of one pitch at a time? And right here, Potts, especially being a pitcher herself, probably has a little bit to share.
Alyssa Hinckley, armed with that fresh info, steps into the box and takes ball 1 inside from Gann. Hinckley again listed as an outfielder on the roster, but sliding down to play shortstop. And that one misses high. Makes it 2-0. Gann ready, 2-0 offering is in there over the outside corner, 2-1.
Yeah, what a nice pitch. I mean, it started on one side of the strike zone, ended up on the other side of the strike zone, kind of went that left to right movement. Really nice pitch there from Gann.
This one swung on, hit in the air to center, starting in but then going back and making the catch is Rocco. Quickly 2 away here in the second inning for the Hornets.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Rocco kind of took a step forward, and then I think the pop had a little bit more pop in what she expected. Took a couple back pedals, and then boom, got the catch either way. So nice work there all the way in the back from Rocco.
We've mentioned a lot of players with long sleeves under their uniforms. Rocco currently with a hoodie thrown on over as her solution to stay warm out there. And London Rab now to the batter's box, takes strike 1.
Yeah, and talk about Gann getting a little bit more comfortable with the pitching. Has had a couple good strikes here on these back-to-back batters.
That one misses up and away, and as you mentioned, Gann was It's not a strong start to this game, but she's retired the last 4 hitters for Kalamazoo. She looks to settle in and keep the Comets in this one. Rab hits that one out into left, and that'll drop in front of Lampinen. Rab thinking about it. She'll take off for second as the throw gets just a little bit away from the second baseman, Witkowski, and Rab once again just stealing second base.
Yeah, you said it once again, and once again you see that elite decision-making and speed from Rab, able to kind of make a single into a double, and this just helps out. Even with 2 outs on the board, you can exchange batter for batter. I mean, you have someone like Fritzma up to bat. She can do it again.
And for Rab, again now at second base, sets up a situation where she could score on a single, as officially it'll be a single plus a throwing error on the left fielder Lampinen to get Rab to second base. Next pitch just off the outside edge. 2-0 the count now on Fritzma. That one's in there. Strike one now on the Hornets center fielder. Fritzma doubled her first time up to score Rab. This time hits a pop-up. Shallow center going back, and unable to make the catch is Ramos. Rab comes in to score on the RBI single from Fritzma, and it's 3-0 Hornets.
Yeah, and I was just about to say, Ramos kind of awkward positioning for her to try to get back there and get the catch, but then also Rocket was just positioned too deep in the field to get there, so honestly good on Fritzma to kind of pop that into no man's zone.
Yeah, just out, as you mentioned, into an awkward spot. Ramos, I think, got caught kind of on the lip of the grass. Couldn't maintain her footing. That allows the ball to drop in for a single. Fritzma taking off for second base, dives in safely, as that's ball one to Grace Rocco, and Fritzma advances to second.
Yeah, especially with not the best of jumps from Fritzma, able to get there and then slide just under the tag. Really nice work there to steal second.
This one off the outside edge. 2-0 the count now on the Hornets freshman from California, Grace Rocco. This one grounded fair down the third base line. Coming around third to score is Fritzma. Rocco on her way to second. She'll be in there ahead of the throw. A 2-out RBI double. The rally continues, and it's 4-0 Hornets.
Well, I love to see some California magic, and right there Rocco able to get a clean double down the third base line. You love to see those type of hits, especially when they hug the line that well.
Yeah, if it was hit, any softer or not quite as far down the line, it would have been playable for Bond, as this one's grounded to Bond again, and this time she'll make the play. Newman is retired to end the inning, but the Hornets add 2 more. We'll head to the bottom of the second. 4-0 Kalamazoo. Bottom of the second, Olivet trailing Kalamazoo 4-0. Alexis Bond into the batter's box. Already with a putout and 2 assists in the field. We'll get to see her at the plate for the first time, and she has been a bright spot throughout the season for the Comets in the batter's box, hitting .321 leading the team in hits, doubles, home runs, RBI, total bases, you name it. She has been excelling this season for Olivet. Maddie Potts back into the circle for Kalamazoo, ready to work this second inning. First pitch, swinging, popped up. Back behind first base, coming over to catch it is J.C. Ryder for the first out. Hornets second baseman Ryder flanks over behind Lee at first, had the better angle at it, so she'll take that one. And for Olivet, Kylie Ramos now to the plate. She takes the first pitch off the outside edge for ball one.
Yeah, Ramos, a junior utility player, so useful all over the field. Just trying to help out the team here, get on base, and bring some momentum into the dugout.
Takes strike one there as Potts finds the inside part of the plate. This one bunted down the first base line, and Delaney Lee will field it in foul territory. So that'll be strike two.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you caught it too, but Lee kind of heads up play there, seeing that it was already on its way out into that foul area. Just let it dribble on instead of kind of picking it up and chasing it down in fair area.
Ramos swings and misses there. Strikes out for out number two in the second as Potts has her over top.
Yeah, and this is better work from Potts, a little bit more comfortable. You're seeing some good momentum, fluidity in her pitching stance as well.
Morgan Rocco into the batter's box now for Olivet. That hoodie over her uniform. I do appreciate that. It does have her name and number on the back, so still easy to identify. She'll swing and miss at the first pitch.
And you've heard it from the dugout a little bit if you can hear it, but even her bench telling her to be a little bit less aggressive on the pitch. You want to wait for the right one, especially now that you're into the second inning.
Squared to bunt at that one. It was coming up high, and she kind of almost in self-defense bunts it foul. Count now 0-2.
A little bit of room here for Potts. I wonder if she'd feed an outside pitch and see if she can get a chase here.
Rocco really leaning over the plate. Seems like she likes him away, but lets that one go. Outside, 1-2.
Wouldn't be surprised if Potts tries that one more time. That one trailed a little bit away from her, but if she goes high and out, you could look at a swing here.
That one off the inside edge. Evens up the count at 2-2. Morgan Rocco, one of just three Olivet players with a home run on the season. That home run, a solo shot, is her only RBI this year as well. That one just high. Fills the count 3-2. Good patience from Rocco after falling behind 0-2 to now work it back full. Rocco ready. The payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts, and it's a 1-2-3 second for Maddie Potts. The Hornets go to hit in the top of the third coming up right after this. Macy Ward to lead things off here for the Hornets in the top of the third, looking to add on to a 4-0 lead here over the University of Olivet. Ward doubled her first time up, which brought home Landry Fridsma back in the first inning. She'll take ball one there, and for Ward, that hit back in the first inning, her 10th hit and third double of the season. That one in there on the inside edge, 1-1.
And Gann is just really, really good at looking and searching for those strikes. And sometimes they're a little unconventional in terms of placement and speed, but she's still able to get the call.
That one just stays high. Tried to drop it into the upper edge of the strike zone, but just stays out. Today's home plate umpire for game one, Ryan Vanderweel. Won't give her the call there, but swing and a miss this time from Ward makes it 2-2.
Yeah, and that was like a 50% swing from Ward there. I can tell maybe it was a late decision to want to get the swing out and over that pitch, but she would have went 100. I think she would have been able to redirect that into that right field area.
This one popped up into foul territory on the run. Making the catch is the Comets catcher, Wenke. Nice play there for the first out here in the third inning. Brings up J.C. Ryder, the Hornets' senior second baseman. Ryder entered today hitting .219 on the year. Swings at the first pitch and hits it in the air out to center. Rocco coming over, she'll make the catch. Well hit, but just out number 2 for the Hornets.
And you said it right, well hit. I mean, had so much time in the air, but it almost felt like it was hit hard enough that it was going to reach that wall area. For some reason, it just kind of died in the middle of the sky and fell out of the sky right there.
Yeah, not much wind today, but that cold air will knock down the ball as well. So that one held up again in the cold, made it playable for Rocco for out number 2. Now Delaney Lee takes the ball one low. Lee popped up to third base, her first time up. Swung on and ripped out into left center on a line. This time that's into the gap. Rocco over to field it. She'll throw to second, and it gets away. That will allow Lee to reach second base. With 2 away here, the Hornets now threatening with a runner in scoring position once again.
And I will say, I think really Lee was just a little bit lucky that Lampinen's throw was just off the mark, because the speed and in which that throw was going to get there, it was going to be in time to tag her out at second, so got a little bit lucky there.
First pitch to Potts, misses high, and yeah, I mean, that ball in the gap, makes you think you've got a good shot for a double, but it was thrown in quickly, but just off the mark. This one popped up into foul territory and off the glove of the Comets' first baseman, Hernandez. So just a foul ball there. Makes it 1-1.
Yeah, I think Hernandez didn't expect the ball to kind of change direction, and the sky started curving away from her. Try to flip her glove and still didn't have enough on it to get the catch.
Gann now ready, the 1-1 offering. In there, strike 2, a little dropper. Caught Potts looking for something else. So Gann now working ahead of the count. She tries to get out of this third inning after the 2-out double by Lee. This pitch well up and away. 2-2 the count now on Maddie Potts.
Yeah, and I think that pitch was a right call. Obviously not the placement she wanted, but right call, because especially when Potts has 2 strikes, she tends to get a little bit more aggressive with her swing. Get her to kind of swing and strike out.
The 2-2 swung on, hit and down into center field ahead of Morgan Rocco. Around third and coming in to score is Delaney Lee. 2-out RBI single from Potts, and it is 5-0 Kalamazoo.
A good piece of hitting there from Potts, able to kind of, like I said, can get a little aggressive when she gets into that 2-strike count, but right there was patient for that one pitch that was a little outside, and then able to let the swing go and just poke it into that green area.
Just the third inning, already 6 different Hornets with a hit in this one. Alyssa Hinckley looking to make that up to 7 as she takes strike 1. Again, gets the sign back on the rubber. Ready for the 0-1 pitch. Just low, 1-1.
Yeah, and we always talk about batters who can hit really good and then they hit towards a position player, and that's what kind of messes up that average in terms of batting. Well, Hinckley, to me, is that main player. She has had such hard hit balls, but just direct position players.
That one misses low and inside, and to your point, Hinckley fly out to center her first time today on another ball hit. Again, plenty hard enough right out in the outfield to have a chance of being a hit, but just in a spot where Rocco was able to get over and play it. She'll take strike 2 that time, evens up the count at 2-2.
Yeah, and a couple of Hornets have fallen privy to that pitch where it's right down the middle and their kind of locked knees doesn't allow them to swing at it. They're waiting for a different pitch.
And when she tried the dropper again, but doesn't fall enough. Now a full count on Hinckley. It'll allow Potts to be off with the pitch. Payoff pitch from Gans. Swung on, grounded right back up the middle. Potts will hold up at second base. It's a 2-out single from Hinckley. And the 2-out rally continues for the Hornets.
Yeah, and it's all about passing the baton, so good job on Hinckley, right? Sometimes batters can start to think, I got to hit it out, or I got to hit a double, or I got to hit a triple. But really all you need is to pass that baton, whether it's a walk, a bunt, a single, something easy right down the middle. Kind of just fluid motion for Hinckley, able to kind of pass on that bat.
Rabb swings, taps it to second. Fielding and firing over to first, but it's off the glove and away from Hernandez. All the runners will take an extra base. The rally continues. Another run scores, and it is 6-0 Kalamazoo.
So some heads up base running. Gives them 2 more. Good on Rabb to just run it out. Sometimes I feel like that's one of the first things you learn in softball is run out whatever kind of contact you make with the ball. And you seen right there, Rabb not giving up, trying to get to that base before the throw. She was going to beat the throw originally anyways, but after seeing the small error, I mean, able to take second like that, really, really nice and heads up play from Rabb.
Yeah, when you have as much speed as Rabb does, it makes, almost every grounder not really a routine play. And there I think you saw Witkowski trying to rush the throw to beat the speedy Rabb and just didn't get there. Fritzma pops this one up, shallow center. Coming in is Rocco. She'll make the catch. And so out of the inning finally is Olivet, but Kalamazoo stays steady, adds 2 more once again. We'll head to the bottom of the third, 6-0 Hornets. Bottom of the third, Kalamazoo and Olivet 6-0 Hornets so far in this one. Shea Lampinen to lead things off for the Comets. Olivet left fielder batting 179 on the year. First pitch swinging, fouls that one off to their right side. Back and out of play.
And just from a couple defensive plays, I can tell Lampinen is such a strong left fielder for this Olivet team. I mean, she's had a couple throws infield where you can tell she's able to get that runner out at second if she wanted to.
Next pitch misses to even up the count, 1-1. That one's up and out, 2-1 to count now on Lampinen. Gets strike 2 there as she froze Lampinen with that one. Maddie Potts, as we've mentioned on the season, 6.29 ERA. You look at conference play, that number drops to 4.79. This one swung on and fouled straight back by Lampinen.
Yeah, Lampinen just trying to poke it in any direction, which she can right there. Looked like she would have gotten a little bit more on it. It would have been hit down the first base line. You can see Lee kind of hugging that first base line either way.
This one swung on and pulled through the left side by Lampinen. It's a leadoff single here in the third, and the Comets have their first hit of the ball game.
Yeah, I'm able to find that little gap between Hinckley and then just able to kind of poke it through there. Hinckley and Newman just a little bit too much separation right there.
Yeah, as we see, the Hornets really have their corner infielders guarding the lines. They now creep in for the bunt, which Gann does put down but drops it foul. 0-1.
And this is the approach that I expected Gann to take in that first inning and her first at bat, but trying here just to push the runner, Lampinen, up to second base.
Gann takes that one just high, ball 1.
And just in case Lampinen decides to run, you know Domzalski can throw. Hinckley maybe not too used to getting the throw down, but a very capable player.
This one swung on, popped foul back off the netting, and comes right back to home plate for Domzalski. 1-2 the count now, so Gann, after her initial bunt attempt, now swinging away, as she does not have any sacrifices on the year. So used to swinging away. And takes a strike over the outside corner. She's retired here. The Hornets throw down to second base, but Lampinen retreats to first.
Yeah, and a little bit of hesitation from Hinckley. I almost wish he would have just taken that first instinct, throw it down to Lee, who was ready, and maybe you get at Lampinen out at first.
Swinging away and fouling off the first pitch is Witkowski. She popped up to shortstop, her first plate appearance today.
Yeah, and almost Witkowski kind of taking a maybe slap hitting approach. Or that last hit, she looked like she started to step with the swing, but not necessarily fully converting to that slap hitting approach.
Runner going, throw is in plenty of time. Poor jump from first base, and Lampinen's caught stealing by Domzalski.
Yeah, right there, Domzalski got to give herself a pat on the back, able to kind of get that pop time and then throw it down that cleanly to Hinckley, especially making sure your throw is not too low. You know Hinckley not too used to playing in that position, so you want that throw to be on target and a little high off the ground.
That one catches the outside corner. 1-2 now on Witkowski. As Potts really now finding that outside edge with back-to-back left-handed hitters here to lead off the Olivet lineup. And that one, sort of an awkward swing, but she did go around. Witkowski strikes out. Potts is up to 5 Ks through 3 innings. The Hornets will head back to hitting in the top of the 4th right after this on the MIAA Sports Network. Comets make a pitching change here in the 4th inning. Joellen Holbrook started this game as the designated player, now in to pitch. And her first pitch in there, strike 1 to Grace Rocco.
Yeah, and already, you know how I do. I start looking at that pitching stance, and you can tell kind of just goes right for it. Doesn't necessarily bring in that back foot and kind of ends off the pitch facing forward.
Rocco swings and misses at that one. So for Holbrook, the freshman from Millington, Michigan, it's just her 4th appearance in the circle this season. Through her first 3 4 2/3 innings pitched. 9 runs, 7 earned, given up.
And it looks like they bring her in for that specific pitch. Has pitched the same pitch back to back. Now it looks like a curve.
And Rocco gets under it, sends it out to center field and right to Morgan Rocco. Not spelled the same, no relation, but Rocco to Rocco, fly out to center to start this 4th inning.
Well, something that's cool about softball, right, is that you take that starting pitcher out, you bring someone new in, but you can always put that starting pitcher back in. So if they're bringing in Holbrook to kind of use that pitch and wait until the batters get used to it, and then they can possibly just switch back in and bring in the starting pitcher.
She gets strike 1 across there on Ella Newman. Newman 0 for 1 with a walk so far in this ball game. And that one just outside. Holbrook has surrendered 8 hits and 4 walks with 1 strikeout in her 4 2/3 innings on the year coming into today. She'll get strike 2 across on Newman there. That one just outside, 2-2 the count now.
Yeah, Newman just trying to get some contact here. She's got a walk and a ground out. And right now she's trying to get a hit up on that stat.
Just the fourth inning, and Newman already one of just 2 Hornets without a hit yet in this game. That one missing outside makes it a 3-2 count. And while I'm sure she'd like a hit, a second walk would not be bad either. That one misses the inside corner, and it is the second walk of the game for Newman. Macy Ward now to the batter's box for the Hornets. She has a double and a pop out across her first 2 plate appearances today. 1 out and Newman on first after the walk. Ward looking to help the Hornets build on a 6-0 lead. She'll take strike 1.
Yeah, and when that pitch lands, it's doing all the work it should be, right? Catching these batters off balance and then just able to buckle their knees. So doing a really, really good job right now, utilizing the pitch. But when it lands a little bit outside, you can tell it's a ball from where it starts.
That one popped foul and into the netting. Quickly 0-2 now on Ward. Holbrook back on the rubber and ready. The 0-2 pitch outside. This one swung on, hit in the air out to left center. That'll get down, get all the way to the wall. Coming around second, rounding third, and heading for the plate is Newman. The throw is cut off, and it's an RBI double for Ward, her second of the ball game. That'll make it 7-0 Kalamazoo.
So the Hornets creeping ever so closely to that 8 runs. Something that they want to hold to that 5th inning and maybe implement that 8-run rule. It's always nice when you got to play a doubleheader that you're able to kind of force one of the games to end a little early.
First pitch swinging and ground ball to third base. Bond scoops and fires the first to retire J.C. Ryder. That's 2 away here in the 4th, and Ward has to stay put at second base. That'll leave things up to Delaney Lee. She doubled to start a 2-out rally an inning ago. First of 4 consecutive hits for the Hornets that led to a pair of runs. She digs in here looking to hit in Ward from second base. First pitch swinging out to right field. That gets down, and Jordan Reed can't handle it. Booted over underneath the tarp out in right field. Circling second, heading for third is Lee. I believe that'll go as a single plus an error for Lee. Ward scores, and it is 8-0 Kalamazoo.
Yeah, single turn triple. Isn't that the story you always want to hear, especially as a batter? Good heads up running there by Lee to kind of get her way all the way around.
She does get credit for the RBI there, as Ward likely would have scored even if Reed did play that cleanly. Now the first pitch to Potts misses inside. I think what threw Reed off might have been, she may have already been thinking about throwing it to the plate before she got her glove on the ball, as this one's hit up in the air to right field, right back to Reed. She'll make the catch and end the inning, but the Hornets, for the 4th inning in a row, score 2 runs and now lead at 8-0. Olivet to bat in the bottom of the 4th after a quick break. Bottom of the fourth inning, Olivet looking to start chipping away at an 8-0 deficit. Maddie Potts back in the circle for Kalamazoo to face Karina Hernandez. First pitch swinging in a soft line drive handled at first base by Delaney Lee for the first out.
Yeah, good job on Lee, not jumping at that one too excited, right? Sometimes, especially when they float in the air, sometimes you'd actually be surprised. Those are a little harder to get than some may seem.
Haley Wenke now to the batter's box. Hernandez and Wenke had back-to-back walks back in the first, but this time Hernandez was more aggressive, swinging at the first pitch to put it in play. Wenke this time takes a first pitch strike from Potts. 0-1, just low.
Potts taking a second, making sure she has everything in check. Sometimes with these games you can get a little out of hand.
That one comes inside. Wenke pulls back out of the way. And for Potts, she really had her strongest stretch of the season. Early in April, she had a complete game shutout of St. Mary's back on April 3rd. The Hornets' only shutout this season, as she'll get strike 2 on Wenke there. Each of her next 2 outings, she surrendered just 2 runs and another win over Albion and then a loss to Calvin in a 2-0 game. This time swing and a miss from Wenke. Potts up to a season-high 6 strikeouts on the afternoon, and that leaves this inning up to Joellen Holbrook for the Comets. This one hit out into center field on the first pitch. Holbrook with a 2-out single keeps the inning alive for Olivet.
And good on Holbrook to get on top of that piece of hitting right there. I mean, the pitch was nice, and she's still able to make that type of contact, drive it right back up the middle with that type of speed and airtime. Really nice job there by Holbrook.
This one grounded up the middle. Rather, Hinckley will scoop it, step on second to end the inning. So the 2-out single does not lead to anything more for Olivet. We'll head to the 5th. Still 8-0 Kalamazoo. Top of the 5th inning here in Kalamazoo, Michigan. The Hornets leading Olivet 8-0. And Alyssa Hinckley leading off here in the 5th. Takes strike 1.
Set it off the stream here, but Hinckley in that last out looking a little bit like she was meant to play shortstop, almost kind of leaning into that double play, and then realized, oh, wait, never mind. I just got the last out of the inning anyways.
Holbrook's 1-1 offering, just off the inside corner. 2-1 to count now.
Hinckley right now, I know she's just feeling a lot better because she got that single out in the 3rd inning, and now just trying to continue that kind of trend here.
Swings and hits this one out to center field, but right there to make the play is Morgan Rocco. Rocco's had a busy day out in center field. She'll pull in another one here for the first out of the 5th.
And you know what? I'll take credit for that because, I did bring up keeping up the trend, and even though I didn't necessarily put it out in the air, I'll take credit for that pop out for Hinckley.
Brings up London Rabb already with 3 hits in this ball game. Rabb had a really hot start to this season. It's been a bit of a rougher stretch of late, dropping her MIAA batting average down below 300, but again with 3 for 3 so far in this one, she's got that average back on the rise.
Yeah, and I kind of mentioned it earlier how they might have brought Holbrook in to pitch for a specific pitch, and now she's kind of facing an issue that I was thinking about. Since Rabb is on the other side of the batting box, she looks like she went around, but like she's on the other side of the batting box now, kind of finishing where usually Holbrook's pitches finish. I kind of wonder how she's going to mess around with the positioning of that pitch.
It certainly seems to have Rabb off balance as she swings and misses there. After the check swing, 1 pitch ago. The 2-2 swung on, popped up. Foul territory, coming over and making the catch is Bond. And so there's 2 away. Landry Fridsma now to the batter's box for Kalamazoo. And she is the last Hornets hitter to face Holbrook. This one grounded right back to her on the mound. She'll throw to first. It's a 1-2-3 inning from Holbrook, but the Comets need to score at least 1 in the bottom of the 5th to stay alive. Bottom of the 5th, Maddie Potts back in the circle for Kalamazoo. She's scattered 2 hits and 2 walks through the first 4 innings, already with a career-high 6 strikeouts. Olivet's 7, 8, and 9 hitters stand between her and a potential second shutout of the season. Kylie Ramos to lead things off here in the 5th for the Comets. First pitch high for ball 1.
Yeah, and I think right now Potts is in her head's like, okay, this is a regular right here. Keep it the same. Keep the pitch flowing. Keep everything kind of moving the way it was.
This one grounded to shortstop. Fielding and firing to first is Hinckley in time for out number 1. And so as we've talked about at times today, Hinckley looking more and more comfortable out there at shortstop. Gets the first out here in the 5th. And now Morgan Rocco to the plate for the Comets. It's been a busy day out in center field for Rocco. So far 0 for 1 at the plate, having struck out back in the 2nd inning. First pitch fouled off back to the netting. Rocco, the junior, out of West Branch. On the 0-1 offering, swings and misses. 0-2. Potts ready, the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 on Rocco, and all 5 innings now. Potts with at least 1 strikeout. Comets' hopes lie with Shea Lampinen. Lampinen singled her last time up to lead off the 3rd, but was later caught stealing. She'll look to keep Olivet alive by getting on base here. First pitch fouled off hard on a line off of the Olivet dugout. Makes the count 0-1. As they inspect the ball there from field umpire Stephen Jenke. They decide that's good to stay in play. Didn't take too much of a beating, even as it went off the face of the roof of the dugout. And the next pitch misses away. Evens the count at 1-1. Ball swung on, grounded to second base. Ryder over to first, and that's the ball game. 1-2-3, 5th inning closes off the second shutout of the season for Maddie Potts. 2 hits, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts. The Hornets score 2 runs each in each of the first 4 innings to earn the run rule victory here in Game 1. They'll flip sides for Game 2. Maya, your thoughts on this run rule victory for Kalamazoo?
Yeah, the Hornets doing everything right. They got good defensive plays. I mean, a couple good plays at that. Really, I want to shout out Hinckley, able to kind of wake up the bat with a single. And then on top of that, just got really, really comfortable in that shortstop position, was making some plays. Even I was like, okay, adding a little bit of sparkle to it, adding a little bit of her own touch to the plays. And sometimes that can be pretty hard coming from a different position, especially an outfielder turned infielder. So with that being said, Hornets, again, just doing a really, really good job. And then the bats are coming alive, right? Good swinging, not too aggressive, kind of being smart with the at-bats, but then at the same time taking advantage of any opportunity that they get. I say they continue down that path, they continue and kind of do that again for Game 2, then you're looking at a similar score over there with the Comets, right? Something you just got to lock down is there was a couple errors that added to the Kalamazoo's lead. And I think you want to take those down, because if you already know maybe your pitching can use a little bit of improvement for that second game, you don't want to add error to that, right? So I think you clean that up and you're looking at least an extended game for the Comets. And maybe, hey, you come up with start to pick up those bats, bring momentum to your bench. I think the Comets can make it a little bit closer for Game 2.
Absolutely. And you mentioned, again, the strength up and down the lineup for the Hornets. 12 hits, 4 doubles, 2 walks as a team. Really, again, a total team effort to score those 8 runs and earn, again, the run rule victory. We'll be back just a little bit. We'll keep the stream going here for Game 2. Again, the Hornets taking this one 8-0 for their 5th win in MIAA play this season. ready to go here for game 2. Hornets in the field first, swing and a miss at the first pitch from Shea Lampinen, moving up to the leadoff spot for Olivet here in game 2. On the mound, rather in the circle for the Hornets. Keep doing that, I'm too used to baseball. But Elizabeth Jones in the circle for Kalamazoo. Quickly up 0-2 on Lampinen. On the season, Elizabeth Jones has made 16 appearances, 11 starts. Across 63 2/3 innings, she has a 5.50 ERA, just 14 walks and 14 strikeouts on the season. And there's number 15 in the strikeout category as Lampinen swings through that one for the first out. So we're a little late getting things going here on the broadcast here for game 2, but once again, I'm Colin Murphy, joined by Maya Pasillas for today's doubleheader.
And the Hornets just trying to continue where they left off, right? Continue kind of that solid kind of pitching approach. And then for the Comets here, just really just trying to wake up the bats, trying to make some contact, get some runners on the base, and then push them forward into that scoring position area.
That one's fouled off by Jordan Reed for Olivet. She was in the flex spot playing right field in game 1. This time batting second in the order. She's hitting .225 on this season with 5 walks, a pair of doubles as well. And takes strike 3 there. So as I was saying in the open, Elizabeth Jones normally very much a pitch to contact approach, but 2 batters in, 2 strikeouts. Joellen Holbrook now into the batter's box here for Olivet. She had one of just 2 hits for the Comets in game 1 and takes a strike there on the outside part of the plate. This one just tapped foul.
Yeah, you know, and one of the things I really enjoy from Jones is just her pitching style, her approach, how calm and lax she stays throughout the pitching process, and how quickly she settles into a game. You mentioned already 2 strikeouts, and it just goes to show, right? You've just faced your first 2 batters, and you're already that comfortable into the game.
And finally, her 9th pitch is ball 1. She's getting ready to start talking about an immaculate inning if she was able to strike out Holbrook there. The 9 pitches, 9 strikes. Term I've really only heard in baseball, but feel like it applies in softball as well. Instead, now as that one misses outside, 2-2 the count on Holbrook. Swing and a pop-up, foul territory. Coming over is Lee in front of the Olivet dugout. She'll make the catch. Quick 1-2-3, top of the first for Elizabeth Jones. The Hornets will go hit. We've got no score heading to the bottom of the first. Bottom of the first for Kalamazoo, London Rabb to lead things off. Rabb had 3 hits in game 1 and scored a pair of runs. in the 8-0 victory for the Hornets in 5 innings. This time she'll step into the box to face Comets starting pitcher Elliot Jarvie here for game 2. Jarvie's first pitch up high for ball 1. So far this season, Jarvie 20 appearances, 11 starts across 63 innings. She has an 11.33 ERA, 49 walks, and 14 strikeouts. Next pitch up high again, 2-0.
Yeah, and right now Jarvie just trying to find that strike zone, trying to find that comfortable area in which she can continue to attack the zone. Right, want to set the tone early and kind of switch it up from that first game.
This one down the middle, 2-1 now on Rab. And as we've mentioned throughout this season for Kalamazoo, we're at a very young roster. Olivet in a similar situation. Jarvie, the freshman out of Grosse Pointe Woods, as she takes strike 2 across the top of the zone there on Rab. So Jarvie, one of the freshmen that's really been called upon to step up into a bigger role than you might expect for a freshman in their first collegiate season, but doing her part here. She'll get a foul pop-up. That'll get out of play from Rab.
And Rab just trying to start off right where she left off.
That one just stays high. Fills the count 3-2 on Rab. And on the season, we've seen outfields play Rab very shallow. In game 1, Olivet really was playing her straight up. This time they've brought the left fielder creeping in, as we've seen quite often, but that pitch misses high for ball 4. So defensive alignment, no issue when you reach via the walk. So Landry Fridsma now to the plate after the leadoff walk by Rab. Jarvie's first pitch misses low.
Yeah, and you can see some difference now. Hinkie kind of more aware about Rab's speed. That's something that she utilized a lot in that first game, and you can tell right now Hinkie is on top of it. I mean, she is popping up quick after the pitches.
And Rab takes off for second. That throw over the head of the shortstop Ramos and into center field. It's a stolen base for Rab.
And that's, repeat of that first inning in game 1. Rab just really, really quick on her feet, able to move into that scoring position, does so again here.
The pitch was in there for a strike when Rab stole, and that's time fouled off. It'll make the count 1-2 now on Fridsma. Jarvie back onto the rubber. Settles in and kicks and fires inside. You can see Jarvie, part of her routine here, she'll kind of dig back onto that left foot before kicking it forward and bring it to home plate, as that one rolls just foul off the bat of Fridsma down the third base line.
Yeah, and Bond, just in case, was ready to barehand that and throw that down to first.
This one grounded to third, handled and thrown over to first in time by Alexis Bond. She has been sure-handed throughout the day today. That'll be the first out. Keeps Rab at second base for Grace Rocco.
Yeah, and it's like she knew that it was most likely going to come down her third base line. She's been hugging it pretty tightly since that first game, and now here it worked out well, right? She was ready for such a hard hit ball in her direction.
Just a few pitches earlier, Fritzma had that slow roller down the third base line, so Bond may have taken that as a signal as well that the ball was coming her way. First pitch to Rocco, misses down low.
Yeah, and Rab not being shy about taking a big lead over there on second base. Forcing Henke to pop up just as quick as she was when Rab was on first.
Jarvie finds the zone there. Evens up the count at 1-1 on Rocco. And to your point on Rab, again, taking that big secondary lead. Really, Hornets seem content on testing this Olivet defense. This one grounded right back to the mound. Going to third is Rab, and she is in there under the tag. Comets can't believe it. And their head coach, Michaela Hamilton, is going to come out and talk that one over with the field umpire for Game 2, Ryan Vanderweel.
Yeah, and I low-key expect that talk a little bit, right, especially with such a close play. Almost a little unfortunate, and especially when they kind of knew. They had a heads up right there, right? Had that fielder's choice, made the throw down to third, and then you'd expect to get the tag out. But, you know, Rab is just so fast, and especially when she's sliding, she can just slide under that tag no matter how fast you are. And so right there, the call is going to stand, and Rab's going to stay on third base.
It was a good, strong throw to third from Jarvie. A little high for getting the tag down, and I think that gave Rab just enough time to sneak her hand in there. This one outside briefly gets away from Winky, but the runners stay put. So now runners on the corners with one out after Rocco reaches on the fielder's choice. Jarvie going to try to battle her way out of this jam. This one swung on and fouled off back to the left side by Newman. Newman, the sophomore out of Sibbawang, Michigan. Ready for the 1-1. Drops down a bunt just in front of home plate. Picking it up, but with no play is Wenke. That will be an infield single on the bunt from Newman, and the Hornets strike first once again here in Game 2.
Yeah, and that is how you utilize a squeeze play. I mean, that's exactly how you do it. When you have a player who can squeeze into such a tight space and score in at the plate, I mean, that is what makes any coach smile, especially when you're able to execute a bunt like that and score a run like that. Good work there by Newman, and also good work there by Rab to stay on her front foot and just dive into home plate.
Yeah, I thought if Winky had any play there, it would be at first, but she turned, looked at Rab, and realized she was already home and just had to hold on to the ball at that point. Macy Ward to the batter's box now, takes ball one. As Elliot Jarvie just misses the outside corner of that one. Really creeping in at first base is Hernandez. As there's strike one on Ward.
And I'm sure they're wary of Ward. Had 2 doubles in Game 1, and right now, I mean, this is prime positioning for her. She has a runner in scoring position, and then she has a runner on first. Really just needs a single to push everyone along.
Jarvie ready. The 1-1 is in there. Slow dropper caught Ward off guard. 1-2.
Now, when I was younger and I used to see some slower pitches, I used to be like, oh, why don't they just swing? But really, it really does choke you up when you're a batter expecting something else.
That one just off the corner, up and away. Evens the count at 2-2. And to your point, it's similar to a changeup in baseball, except even a bigger difference in speed that you'll normally see on those slow balls from softball that really do get the hitters way off balance. That one grounded right down the line. Fielding and stepping on the bag is Bond. Her throw to first in time. That is a well-turned double play by Alexis Bond to get the Comets out of the inning, but not before Kalamazoo strikes first. We'll head to the second. 1-0 Hornets. Back at it for the top of the second for Olivet. Going to bat against the Hornets. Right-hander Elizabeth Jones, the freshman from St. Clair Shores. After working a 1-2-3 first inning, gets Alexis Bond to swing and miss the first offering here.
Yeah, and I just can't get over her pitching style. It just looks like so minimal, so effortless, and she's able to get through all the motions and pitch it right down the middle sometimes.
Gets Bond to swing at one off the outside edge there, 0-2.
Yeah, it's something about this game, too. Jones pitches, the curves, the turns, everything about it right now really landing for her.
That one just off the outside edge after seeing Bond wave at one outside, a pitch a go. Tries it again, but this time Bond holds the bat back. This one fouled straight back by Bond. Keeps the count at 1-2. We talked in game one about sort of the highs and lows of Maddie Potts on the season. Elizabeth Jones, on the other hand, especially once we've gotten into conference play, it's been about the consistency across each of her starts against MIAA competition. She's allowed between 3 and 5 earned runs in all 6 of her starts. It's come out to a 4.74 ERA in conference play, sitting at 5.5 overall on the year and looking to improve on that today. 2-2 pitch to Bond. Over the inside corner, caught her looking for strike 3.
Yeah, and I'll tell you right now, Bond was expecting that pitch to stay outside and just barely skim the strike zone, but it was the way that Jones' pitch kind of curved into the batter, then back into the strike zone is what choked Bond up, able to get the strikeout right there.
Potts had a career-high 7 strikeouts in game one. This one lined softly to short and caught on the run by Hinckley. Great catch there for out number 2.
And we keep talking about it, about how Hinckley just gets more and more comfortable in that position, in that shortstop position. And right there, that's one of the plays where you'd expect an outfielder turn infielder on the fly, not to be moving as cleanly as Hinckley just did there.
First pitch in there for strike 1 to Karina Hernandez. Comets first baseman batting 6th here in game 2. This one hit in the air to left field. Macy Ward waits on it, comes in and makes the catch. Another 1-2-3 inning here in the second. And the Hornets head to the bottom half, still up 1-0. Bottom of the second, Kalamazoo looking to build on a 1-0 lead over the University of Olivet. Again, the Hornets took game one 8-0 in 5 innings. Looking to finish off a doubleheader sweep for just the second time in conference play. First pitch misses away to Delaney Lee. The Hornets first baseman leading off here in the bottom of the second. 1-0 pitch, swung on, grounded up the third baseline, fielded and fired over to first in time as Bond continues to be a highlight of the defense here for Olivet. She's made all 4 outs so far here in game 2.
Yeah, especially that decision to pick up the ball before it ended up in foul territory. She knew she could kind of just end that at bat herself if she wanted to, and did exactly that with the throw down to first.
Yeah, confident play there, as you mentioned, to field that ball instead of allowing it to roll foul. J.C. Ryder, senior for the Hornets, now into the batter's box. She'll take strike one, as Jarvie finds the inside edge there.
Yeah, Ryder was expecting it to kind of curve into her a little bit more. Similar to Jones's pitch. Pitch ended up kind of more towards the middle of the plate.
This one grounded foul. Quickly now 0-2 on J.C. Ryder. Comet defense back in position. Jarvie back to the rubber and ready for the 0-2 offering. That one's up high. Tried to get it to drop into the zone, but would not drop far enough. Ryder's looking for more in game two after an 0-for-3 performance in game one. This one grounded to shortstop. Fielding and firing to first in plenty of time is Kylie Ramos. There's two down here in the second.
Yeah, way to go for Ramos to stay composed with that. It was kind of took a couple of weird hops right before it got to her. She was still able to kind of cleanly pick it up. Throw a little low, but nonetheless, a throw that made that first out right there at first base.
And stepping into the batter's box now for the Hornets, the only addition to the lineup for game two that changed from game one. Ava Domzalski, the catcher, pushes this one through the left side. It's a two-out single on the first pitch she sees. And that extends the inning for Alyssa Hinckley.
Yeah, and I think surprise. There you go. I think that surprised Domzalski as much as it surprised everybody else on the field with her swinging at that first pitch. You seen her kind of kick it into second gear, running down to first after she noticed it skipped through the gap.
The Hornets catcher was in the flex spot of game one. Entered the lineup here for game two and was ready to attack straight away. Thought about taking off on that low pitch, but ultimately stays put at first as Wenke quick to recover and pick it up from between her feet. Hinckley also having a strong performance on the day. Had one hit in game one along with strong defense out at shortstop. She'll take strike one there. And we've talked about, again, both of these programs kind of looking to build towards 2027. And the Hornets at shortstop most of the year, senior Emma Newlove, they're going to need somebody new there next year. So Hinckley, with a strong performance the last few games out there, perhaps putting her name in the ring as a potential starter next season at the shortstop position.
Wenke right now putting a lot of pressure over there on first base. Doesn't want Domzalski running with anything.
Especially with two outs, want to keep that runner at first base and not in scoring position as Jarvie earned strike two there on Hinckley.
And I think that pitch brought Hinckley back into the zone. I think she was focused a little bit on what Domzalski was doing over there at first.
This one skips in the dirt, gets just away from Wenke. Enough for Domzalski to scoot down to second base. Count now runs full at 3-2. Domzalski now in scoring position. Three-two offering from Jarvie. High and outside. It's a walk for Hinckley. That'll turn the lineup back to the top of the order for the Hornets. Two out, two on now for Hornets right fielder London Rabb. First pitch low and away. Blocked well by Wenke to keep the runners where they're at. So far 2 hits, 2 walks for the Hornets as that one's tapped foul by Rabb.
I'm actually kind of curious about that decision from Rabb. It looked like she was just trying to poke it down the third base line, but with a kind of defensive pressure that you have there on that third base side, you got to be a little bit careful about sending it in that direction, especially with a force out at third.
That one just high for ball 2 to Rabb, and to your point, absolutely. I feel like Alexis Bond is about the one fielder I'd want to test the least on this Olivet team. This one tapped right in front of home plate, just fair. Throw is over the head of the first baseman. Gets into right field, they'll throw it back in, but everyone gets 2 bases. Demzalski in to score, and it is 2-0 Hornets. Call that a single plus the error for Rabb. So 2 out, now 2 in scoring position for Landry Fridsma to potentially make this into a big inning and really grow this gap for the Hornets.
Yeah, the good thing right now for Jarvie is that really you just got to focus on 1 out now that there's no forced play anywhere. So that forced play is going to only revert back to that first base. I feel like that kind of focuses your point a little bit, right? You just need to either get the strikeout or force something soft. Get the out at first.
That one misses low. 2-0 the count now on Fridsma. Jarvie digs back into that rubber, ready for the 2-0. Up high. So Fridsma way up ahead in the count now, 3-0.
Jarvie does not want to load the bases. She has to throw a strike here. I think Fridsma also knows that, right? It has to be a strike.
And that is down the middle for strike 1. Fridsma with the take sign on, doesn't offer at it, but now at 3-1, she can still really be selective here, look for her pitch. As Jarvie deals, and that's outside, ball 4.
Yeah, and Jarvie not agreeing with the call. You've seen her kind of pump her hands up and then keep them to herself, realizing, oh, maybe I shouldn't react.
Yeah, that one was close there on the outside corner. See why she wanted it, but just off the plate, according to our home plate umpire, Stephen Jenke. So now 2 outs and the base is loaded for Grace Rocco. First pitch down in the dirt, blocked by Wenke.
And right now, Rocco just thinking in her head, just got to make some contact and be smart about this batting appearance.
She'll take strike 1 there. As Rocco had 1 hit back in game 1. It was an RBI double. Now digs back in, ready for the 1-1 here. Again with an opportunity to really break game 2 open. Swings and pops it up in foul territory. That'll get out of play to the first base side.
Yeah, and with that much pop under the swing there, I'm thinking she was thinking exactly as you, right? Had an opportunity to break it open. But really, it's important for her to stay in it right now. You can't get too antsy for it. It's almost kind of like you got to be like, I'm not going to hit it, I'm not going to hit it, and then boom.
Her double in game 1 put her up to a team-high 10 doubles on the season. And she'll take that one up and away, evens up the count at 2-2. Rocco also 2 home runs on the year, one of 3 Hornets with multiple homers. Jarvie ready. The 2-2 ripped back up the middle by Rocco. 1 run scores. Rab flying around third. She'll score as well. It's 4-0 Hornets on a 2-run single from Grace Rocco.
You know, and that's all it takes. A little, again, California Magic, what can I say? But that's all it takes. All it takes is a single right there, able to bring 2 in. You don't need anything crazy. You don't need anything major. But if you can just kind of put a little bit of ball to bat here, then there you go. You got a single that brings in not 1, but 2.
Helen Newman stepping up now. She bunted for a single her first time up. Takes strike 1 as Jarvie catches the outside corner.
And the Hornets working really, really well right now with this 2-out situation. And we've noticed this a couple times, but really, they just work so well when they're in those 2-out rallies.
Ripped through the left side on the ground, that time from Newman. Circling third, heading for the plate is Fritzma. The throw not in time. Both runners advance on the throw home as well. RBI single from Newman makes it a 5-0 ball game.
Yeah, and as it should, prompts a little bit of kind of a conversation within the infield here from Olivet, just trying to make sure everybody's in the same mindset. You got to have a short-term memory. You got to move on quick, because really what you're working with on Olivet's side is 2 outs, right? All you got to focus on is getting that last out. Come on, close out the inning, and then bring yourself back into that batting position, back into that offensive position.
And as much as you enjoy those 2-out rallies when you're on offense for Olivet, you got the first 2 batters of this inning out, but now 6 straight have reached. Got 4 runs in, 2 more at second and third. Macy Ward sends this one into left field. That'll get down. The stop sign on at third base for Newman, but Grace Rocco comes in to score. Now the 5th run of the inning for the Hornets. It's 6-0. That'll bring Olivet's head coach, Michaela Hamilton, out to the mound for a word with Jarvie.
Yeah, and I would like to think that honestly Ward was probably thinking with that same mindset of, okay, I just need to make something happen, but it doesn't have to be this amazing home run, triple, double, or whatever it may be, right? It just needs to be something where I can get on base, and whether that be a walk or a single, that's exactly what Ward did. Didn't do anything crazy, put some contact, and just put a blooper into the green, into like this no man zone area where no one could really get to it, and boom, she's on first and brings another run in. Giving a chance for Delaney Lee here to come back up and see if she can get past that ground out she had at her first at bat in the second.
And similar to how we've seen the Hornets sometimes be quick with a mound visit for their freshman pitchers, there Hamilton again wants to come out, just settle things down a bit for her freshman right-hander, Elliott Jarvie. 2 away in the inning now, turning her focus on Delaney Lee to try to get out of it. First pitch, ground ball to short. She'll throw to second for the force out, and that will end the inning mercifully for the Comets, but not before the Hornets add on 5. We'll head to the top of the third. 6-0 Kalamazoo coming up right after this. Top of the third inning for Olivet. Hornets with a big bottom of the second, now working with a 6-0 lead. For Elizabeth Jones, it's been 6 up, 6 down through the first 2 innings. Kylie Ramos for Olivet. Looking to change that here in the third. First pitch down in the dirt for ball 1 to Ramos, who made the play to end last inning, collecting the fielder's choice.
Yeah, and that pitch in the dirt you kind of expect only because the weather is so cold, and sometimes for these pitchers to come back in after a long second inning, your fingertips are a little cold, right?
Yeah, you do what you can to stay warm on the bench, but with Elizabeth Jones being in the flex spot, not in the lineup, it is just sitting down there in the dugout and doing whatever you can on your own to stay warm. There's ball 2 as that one's just a touch low. Makes it a 2-1 count now on the Comets shortstop.
Yeah, and we often talking about how Jones kind of forces soft contact. I like right now she's really approaching this more as a strikeout pitcher, kind of playing along the outside lines of this strike zone, seeing if she can get some nice strike calls instead of anything easy down the middle or kind of off to the sides where a batter can make some contact.
So far in this at-bat, though, Ramos worked ahead for a 3-1 count. That one's up and in, ball 4. Comets have their first base runner of game 2. Elliot Jarvie now, game 2 pitcher for Olivet. Steps into the batter's box. She'll square to bunt and tap it foul for strike 1.
Yeah, Domzalski doing a good job to pop up and use her body to block the attempted bunt, but it kind of bounced off her right hand. You can see her shake it off a little bit again with the cold weather. Everything hurts a little bit more.
Jarvie drops down the bunt this time. Newman fields, fires over to first for the out. It's a successful sacrifice as Ramos gets down to second base. So Haley Wenke, Comets catcher, now into the batter's box with a runner on second and 1 out. Comets still looking for their first run of the day. This one hit in the air out to left field. Over to play it as Ward, but it's off the end of her glove. Trickles away into center. Stop sign on at third for Ramos. Wenke advances to second on the 2-base error. The Comets are in business.
Yeah, and I think right there for Ward, it was just that ball was in the air for so long, it almost made her overthink the catch. Kind of overcommitted to catching in that spot and then bounced right out the glove.
Shea Lampinen stepping in now. Takes a strike over the outside edge. She had one of 2 hits in game 1 for the Comets. Moved up into the leadoff spot here for game 2. Jones ready, the 0-1. Outside. Lampinen wisely holds the bat back.
And Lampinen also just thinking she just needs to make some contact. This has been kind of the moral of the story for a lot of these players, is how can they just make some simple contact and continue the inning for their team.
1-1 offering from Jones. On the inside corner, throw down to third, gets away from Newman. Second error of the inning brings home Olivet's first run of the day.
And I just think that the path of that throw down to third was blocked a little bit for Newman, so she couldn't really see the throw in her direction. And by the time she noticed that it was happening, it was too late. Blew right past her and gave up a run there.
Yeah, as Ramos almost in the way of that throw. was able to take advantage again as it got by Newman into left field.
Yeah, and good on Ramos to kind of stick to her guns, right? She like immediately took the lead, and then after the throwdown, she still opted to try to take home plate instead of trying to make her way back down to third.
Yeah, once that ball was thrown, Ramos was headed for the plate before she even saw it get away from Newman. So the risk she took there pays off. Olivet's on the board. It's a 6-1 ball game, and Lampinen now with a runner at third and 1 out. Going to try to add a second run. Swung on, hit in the air out to right center. On the run is Rab. She will make the catch. Tagging from third and scoring is Wenke, but that was a very fine job from Rab to run down that ball in the gap and just get the out.
Yeah, you said it before I could, but Rab really just doing a good job out there of getting control of that run, especially on the fly like that, able to get that catch and bring it out of the air. Really nice work, clears up the bases.
Yeah, we talk about the value of Rab's speed on offense quite a bit with the way she's able to, again, turn what look like routine ground balls into singles and steal bases, but that speed very valuable out in the outfield as well. First pitch to Jordan Reed, missed low. Now the 1-0 popped up. Back towards first base. Delaney Lee is there to make the play. Hornets out of the inning, but Olivet, without a hit, manages to score 2 runs. It's 6-2 Kalamazoo as they'll get ready to hit here in the bottom of the third right after this. Bottom of the third, J.C. Ryder to lead things off for Kalamazoo. Up 6-2 after a pair of errors in the top half. Lead to 2 runs for the Comets. Elliott Jarvie back in the circle, back to work for Olivet. First pitch inside. Ryder scoots back out of the way.
Ryder just trying to break out of a little bit of a slump that she has going on since that first game. Had a pop out, a fly out, ground out, and then coming into game 2 here, she grounded out in the second. So I think right now she really just needs to break her own batting open.
Senior in one of the final games of her collegiate career. Takes a ball high. Now 3-0 the count. This doubleheader was supposed to be Olivet's senior day when it was originally scheduled as a home set for the Comets on Wednesday. We understand they still held a senior day ceremony for their 2 seniors that day, as there's ball 4 to Ryder. As the pair of seniors for the Comets, Karina Hernandez and Shay Lampinen, both had their families in town on Wednesday, and they were able to honor them. And now come over here to Kalamazoo to still get the games in. Squaring to bunt, but pulling back is Demzalski at a first pitch ball.
And Hernandez there on first, really ready for that bunt. Made her way all the way down, practically down to home plate.
Demzalski squares and pulls back again. 2-0 the count, as that's now Each of the first 6 pitches in this inning outside the strike zone from Jarvie. This time does offer at the pitch, but misses for strike 1 for Domzalski. First time up, she poked a single through the left side on the first pitch. This time she gets the bunt down. Fielding and firing to first in time is Alexis Bond. It's a successful sacrifice. Ryder advances to second base.
Yeah, and lucky there that the throw didn't get out of hand because Lampinen out in left field, I think, forgot to cover third. So Alexis Bond had to quickly make her way back to third after the throw down to first. Had a little lucky right there defensively that play played out the way that it needed to.
Alyssa Hinckley now to the plate with 1 out. J.C. Ryder at second base. She'll take strike 1 over the outside edge. Hinckley walked and scored last inning. Her first at-bat of game 2. This time hits an 0-1 pitch on the ground right to first base. Hernandez fields it, takes it herself to the bag. There's 2 away as Ryder advances to third. That'll bring up London Rabb once again. In 6 trips to the plate so far in this doubleheader, she has been on base 5 times with 4 singles and a walk. First pitch swinging right back to the pitcher. Jarvie in time to first. They're able to retire Rabb and end this inning with no damage after the leadoff walk. We'll head to the 4th inning. Still 6-2 in favor of Kalamazoo after this quick break. So we get set to start the 4th inning here of game 2 of this doubleheader. This one's hit on the ground to the left side and doesn't quite get through, but good enough for a single for Holbrook. Hinckley came over able to field it on the backhand but had no play at first. It's an infield single for the Comets' first hit of this game.
Good on Hinckley to make that stop, though, right? It's so easy for a hit to go through that gap, and Hinckley able to kind of backhand stop that. Good work from her.
This one bunted, and it will roll foul. A well-placed bunt by Alexis Bond, but just a little too much spin on it. Sends it into foul territory for strike 1. The Hornets changing their defensive alignment as well. London Rabb and Macy Ward swap places. Rabb now in left field and Ward in right. Second pitch to Bond misses high. So runner on first, no out. I get that situationally that often leads to the bunt attempt, as we saw Bond square up at the first pitch, but again, she's really been the run producer of this lineup for Olivet. Not the player I would expect to be laying the bunt down. Now the 2-1 pitch, squares the bunt again and fouls it off once again. So now with 2 strikes, likely the bunt will come off.
Yeah, and it's exactly as you said. I would have expected her to come in with a swinging approach, especially because she got a couple pitches where I feel like she could have made some damage.
Now a 2-2 count. Jones ready. Swings and just a tap foul. Bond gets just enough of it to stay alive. Holbrook at first was also ready to take off as she saw that one tip off the top of Domzalski's glove, but the foul ball made it a dead ball as this one misses in the dirt. Domzalski, a good job to keep that ball in front of her and keep Holbrook at first base. So now the full count. Jones ready, the payoff pitch. Swung on, hit in the air, out to left field. That ball is deep, and it is off the wall. Rab picks it up, gets it in, and they will keep Holbrook at third. It's a double for Alexis Bond, and really the best swing of the day that we've seen out of Olivet.
Yeah, a strong one and a confident one. Sends it all the way to the wall. I mean, I even held my breath a little bit. Thought we were about to see a 2-run home run. But like you said, cold air kind of makes the ball drop out of the air just like that. So I think would have been awesome if Bond right now would have gotten her home run. Kind of get her flowers for that good work done at third base.
First pitch to Gann misses just outside. And Bond, does have 2 home runs on the season. That double will go for her team high 7th of the year. So she comes into the at-bat looking to bunt, and instead, after getting 2 strikes, has to swing away and makes a productive time of it. This one in the air to foul territory and caught by Hinckley. But now coming home to score from third base is Holbrook.
So a little bit of a pause here before we continue play, but the ball was caught off in foul territory. Still live. Gonna bring Holbrook in to score.
So an awkward play there as Hinckley made the catch and then dropped the ball, transferring it into her bare hand. That's when Holbrook took off for the plate. She was able to just get in and score in front of the throw as this bunt attempt goes foul from Karina Hernandez.
Yeah, and there's still confusion between some infield players here for the Hornets. But, once the call gets called, I feel best thing to do is move on.
Absolutely, yeah. You have to turn your attention to the next play. And Hernandez this time swinging away, pops it up, shallow right field, and making the catch is J.C. Ryder backing up from her spot at second base. That will keep Bond at third, now 2 away here in the 4th. So as you mentioned in game 1, Olivet showing much more life here on offense in game 2, now with 3 runs across. A runner at third for Kylie Ramos, looking to cut the deficit to 2. Jones's first pitch, swing and hit in the air to center. Coming over is Fridsma. She'll make the play. That'll end the inning. But a big double from Alexis Bond leads to another run for Olivet. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th, 6-3 Hornets. Bottom of the fourth inning. Landry Fridsma to lead things off here for the Hornets after making the catch to end the top half. Elliot Jarvie continuing to work in the circle for Olivet. First pitch grounded foul by Fridsma.
And you know what? The sun's starting to poke out just a tad, brighten up the field, brighten up kind of the momentum out there. Some smiles on everybody's faces, ready for this inning and what it has to hold.
And while that sunshine might add some warmth, we've got a bit of a breeze picking up as well, blowing out to right field. So the 1-1 count, Jarvie ready. And that one's down in the dirt, 2-1. Fridsma, the Hornets junior out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. Takes that one, slows it down, and gets strike two from Jarvie.
Yeah, Fridsman definitely expecting something a little bit quicker coming in her direction. Kind of had her knees buckle under her.
A pitch outside fills the count 3-2. Fridsma at the start of this season missed some time due to injury, did not appear in the Hornets' first 11 games, but has played now all 21 since then, starting out in center field. This one grounded foul to the left side. Count remains full. And really, once Fridsma came back to playing, that's when it felt like the Hornets lineup really solidified with her slotting into that number 2 spot. Her defense in center also quite valuable for this Hornets team. Another payoff pitch. This one hit in the air to center. Rocco on the move. She will make the catch for the first out here in the fourth.
Yeah, and despite being down 3, right now the Comets playing with some newfound energy. Kind of feel the momentum has shifted towards their side. Looking to see if they can get out of this one quickly.
Yeah, in game 1, again, Hornets winning 8-0, and then, they were aided by some unforced errors by Olivet in that one. First pitch to Grace Rocco misses low. And then the Hornets, got up 6-0 with a big second inning here in game 2, but then a couple errors in the third let Olivet get on the board, and then, started to get the bats going in the fourth. Like you mentioned, still a 3-run deficit, but you can feel life back in this Olivet team. That one hit hard on a line to left field, but Shea Lampinen makes the catch. Grace Rocco is retired for the second out.
Yeah, like you said, almost like a line drive all the way out to that left field area. Lampinen doing a good job of just getting right in front of it. It's easier said than done to say don't be afraid of the ball.
Yeah, and that one held up just long enough for Lampinen to take a couple steps over to her right and make the backhanded catch. First pitch, low and away to Ella Newman. Hornets third baseman 2 for 2 so far here in game 2 with a pair of RBI. This one hit right back up the middle. It'll be a single with 2 away this time for Ella Newman. She's 3 for 3 in this ball game, and the inning continues for Macy Ward.
And the relay race starts again, seeing if Ward can just pass this baton. Keep it moving forward as the Hornets try to increase their lead here in the fourth.
Ward having a strong day at the plate as well. 2 doubles in game 1. So far 1 for 2 here in game 2. She'll take a strike over the outer third. As Elliot Jarvie has really started to settle in after a rough first 2 innings. Got through the third after a leadoff walk without any damage. Now this one popped up, right field, coming in and making the catch is Jordan Reed. It's back-to-back innings with no runs for the Hornets. We'll head to the top of the 5th inning. Kalamazoo still leading 6-3. Top of the 5th inning, and a new pitcher into the circle for Kalamazoo. Grace Rocco started this game as the designated player. Now enters to pitch. Rocco, this will be her 13th appearance on the mound this season with 5 starts. She has a 9.19 ERA. Gets a swing and a miss from Elliott Jarvie here to start the 5th.
Yeah, and something about Rocco's pitching approach is that it's just a little bit looser than everybody else. I always talk about how fluid Jones is, but Rocco is just almost a little bit limp in that pitching arm.
Yeah, and really I feel like focuses more on getting that quick whip motion with that arm, and it's been hard for her to really keep it consistent. Does have 36 walks across 26 and 2/3 innings on the year, but when she's in the strike zone, she's been able to keep opposing hitters off the mark. This is up and away there, but on an 0-2 pitch, that's just looking for a chase that Jarvie wouldn't offer at. That one just low. Jarvie wisely takes it. 2-2 the count now. Rocco ready, kicks and fires. Swing and a line drive out into right field. That'll get down in front of Macy Ward. It's a leadoff single for Jarvie here in the 5th.
Yeah, like you said, and then Jarvie helping out herself, right? A little bit of pitcher batting magic right there, able to line it out to the right field area, and then on top of that, just extending the inning for herself, right? Kind of bringing in a new light of energy. I mentioned how momentum has switched over to the Olivet side, and I think it still continues to hold right now. They're kind of working with this newfound life, this new energy.
That pitch gets away from Domzalski. Just up high and in and out of the glove that allows Jarvie to sneak up to second base. And so for the Comets, after not having a single base runner in the first 2 innings, as they will pinch run here as well. So Jarvie gets the second on the passed ball, but now being pinch run for the Comets, that is number 10, Caitlin Witkowski, out at second base. Next pitch just misses, ball 2 now to Haley Wenke. Two-zero pitch in there, strike 1 now on Wenke.
Right now, Rocco doing a better job of just kind of finding the zone, connecting with her spots, Got to consider the fact she just got in here as a pitcher, so it's going to take her a moment to kind of warm up and find her spot.
It's strike 2 across there on Winky, and as I was starting to say before getting distracted by the pinch runner, Olivet no base runners through the first 2 innings, but now 3 innings in a row they've gotten the leadoff hitter on. Both of the last 2 innings, that runner has come around to score. We'll see if they can do so again here. This one popped down the first base line, but foul off the bat of Winky. Will stay 2-2. As Witkowski now at second base after pinch running for the pitcher, Jarvie. Two-two pitch, just inside. Count runs full. I don't see any action in the Olivet bullpen. I do believe they'll re-enter Jarvie to pitch the bottom half of this inning. Swing and a foul off the bat of Wenke. Almost took out her own first base coach there.
I'll tell you, as momentum has shifted and has grown, so has the volume from that Olivet bench. I mean, the chanting has just gotten a little bit louder as this game has continued.
It's assistant coach Tony Gordon over at first base for the Comets. Nearly got taken out by that foul line drive, and that one catches the inside corner on Wenke. She goes down looking for the first out here in the 5th. So good result there from Grace Rocco as she tries to work her way around this leadoff single. Now Shea Lampinen back in the batter's box. She pops the first pitch, foul and out of play. Rocco ready, the 0-1 pitch. Swung on, fouled straight back.
Lampinen has been pretty crucial in that left field area, just trying to make her mark as a batter as well, especially with a runner in scoring position.
That one high outside, gets away from Domzalski. That one just not at the release point that Rocco wanted. Domzalski had to stab at it and couldn't quite get to it. The wild pitch sends Witkowski over to third base. Still with 1 out. On Lampinen. Out of Mid-Peninsula High School from Rock, Michigan in the Upper Peninsula. Rocco getting the sign from the dugout. Now ready, another 1-2. Swing and a miss. Lampinen out in front. That slow ball from Rocco. Back-to-back strikeouts, and there's 2 away.
Yeah, Rocco also giving a nod and some props over at the dugout for the pitching call. Just the right move to get Lampinen to swing at it and strike out.
Now Jordan Reed, the freshman from Albion, swings and misses at her first pitch. Reed struck out and popped out her first 2 times up here in game 2. Was playing as the flex in game 1, so did not come to bat. This one popped foul and out of play off to the first base side and onto Mackenzie Field. Quickly 0-2. As Rocco entered today with 20 strikeouts and 26 2/3 innings on the year There's another one pulled up and away. Coming home now on the throwback to the pitcher and scoring is Witkowski. Caught the Hornets off guard and just steals a run.
And that's textbook play, but that's the type of play that I'd get told to run, like in my club teams, right? When it's like, okay, we've noticed a trend with the pitcher. She takes a couple of seconds to reset, try to steal home. And as a runner, you're like, oh, I don't think I want to do that. I don't think I want to try that. And right there, I mean, it just goes to show why you got to listen to the coach just a tad.
So the steal of home makes it 6-4. Jordan Reed just got a piece of that last offering to keep it at a 1-2 count. This one inside evens the count at 2-2.
As expected, Rocco also taking a second just to kind of resettle herself. A little shocked by the play herself.
But now with the bases empty, you can really focus on the hitter. Swing, and just another foul tip as Reed stays alive. As Jenke, the home plate umpire, confirming counts 2-2 as scoreboard had gotten just a little off. Now 2-2. Now it's full count, 3-2 as that one misses high. Scoreboard never wrong, just early. Full count now with 2 outs and Jordan Reed looking to keep this inning going for Olivet. Swing and a miss. Rocco strikes out the side, but leadoff single coming around to steal on a stolen base of home. For the third straight inning, Olivet working their way back. It's still 6-4 as we'll head to the bottom of the fifth. Hornets to hit right after this. Bottom of the fifth inning. The Hornets clinging to a 6-4 lead. A 5-run second inning made it 6-0 Kalamazoo, but Olivet battling back with 2 in the third, 1 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth. And first pitch swinging, a flare out to shortstop, caught on the run by Kylie Ramos. Delaney Lears retired here for the first out of the fifth. J.C. Ryder now to the plate. She drew a walker last time up back in the third inning, but was left stranded at third base that inning. Jarvie onto the rubber, ready for the first pitch. Misses the outside corner. A very vocal ball call from our home plate umpire.
Yeah, and it was a good pitch selection because you can definitely tell that Ryder was thinking about swinging. She kind of did a pump fake.
Second pitch low, makes it a 2-0 count. Jarvie again has really settled in, just 1 hit and 1 walk over the last 2 innings after a difficult second. That one's just off the outside edge, 3-0. For Ryder, her last time up, it was a 4-pitch walk. Jarvie trying to avoid that same outcome this time. And does get strike one across. Hornets second baseman digging back in, ready for this 3-1 pitch, and grounds it up the middle. Fielded by the shortstop, over to first in time from Ramos. And there's 2 away.
And this 5th inning feeling a lot different from that game 1. 5th inning right here, Hornets just trying to add some insurance runs as the difference is knocked down to just 2.
Ava Domzalski, the catcher, back up here for her 3rd time today. She'll foul back the first pitch. Domzalski, a single and a sacrifice bunt through her first 2 trips to the plate. This one swung, fouled, back off to the left side. For Domzalski, the freshman out of Wixom, Michigan, graduate of Walled Lake Western High School. That single back in the 2nd inning, just the 3rd hit of her collegiate career, as she has fairly often been in the flex spot. But in the lineup here for game 2. Trying to make the most of it, looking to get on base once again. She'll take ball 1 outside. Jarvie's 1-2 offering is low and inside, 2-2.
Yeah, and I feel like as the game has progressed, Jarvie's stance has gotten lower and lower in that initial lunge position that she gets into for her pitch. You'll notice it, but she's just dropping ever so slightly lower and lower as she digs into the dirt.
This one grounded softly to third, barehanded and thrown over to first. Not in time. Bond couldn't quite make the barehanded play in time. Domzalski beats it out for an infield single.
Domzalski doing exactly what you're taught. Keep your head down and run. Doesn't even look to see where that one lands. She makes her way down to first, and just like that extends the inning as a catcher.
So Alyssa Hinckley to the batter's box. She walked and came around to score back in the 2nd inning. This one grounded to shortstop, over to second base, and off the mark. The throw trickles away into right field. Everybody's safe on the error. As Ramos just missed Holbrook coming over to second base, trying to get the force out. Instead, the Hornets will have runners at first and second now with 2 outs.
And Domzalski almost could have taken third, but it was an awkward step at second. I don't know if you noticed, but her knee kind of locked. I got a little nervous. She made her way down, kind of taking a knee to the floor right before touching second. And then when she noticed that the ball was far enough to let her try to steal third, due to that locked knee, she just wasn't able to get up quick enough.
Well, and the throw from Ramos, too, was almost coming right at her. I think she was trying to make sure she didn't run into Holbrook as she tried to make a play. And, yeah, just an awkward finish getting into second base as this first pitch popped up on the left side. That'll be handled by Bond to end the inning. The Hornets threaten but do not score here in the bottom of the 5th. We'll head to the 6th inning. The Hornets trying to seal off a 2-run lead here over Olivet. Top of the 6th inning, Olivet looking to continue the comeback. He once trailed 6-0. Come back to make it 6-4 here as we start the 6th. Holbrook fouls the first pitch straight back. The Hornets and Comets also facing off in baseball this weekend. Game 1 in the bottom of the 8th inning right now at Olivet. And the Comets leading that one 3-0. So this one's fouled off by Holbrook. Olivet starting pitcher Brian Carney with 7 1/3 innings. And that one, 2 hits, no walks, 12 strikeouts as he continues his phenomenal season. He set the Comets' single season and career strikeouts records this year. And swing and a miss from Holbrook. It's another strikeout for Grace Rocco, her 4th since entering the game just an inning ago. And it's the out number 1 here in the 6th.
Yeah, and that's what Rocco wants right now. She just wants to continue kind of getting these strikes and then in turn getting strikeouts. Efficient outs is the key to go right now.
Clipping the inside corner. There is Rocco on a slow ball to start off Alexis Bond.
And there's just nothing Bond could have done with that. I mean, Bond kind of sets up pretty close into that inside strike zone area.
And swings and misses at one high and away there.
But when you set up that inside, sometimes if there's an inside pitch, there's not much you can turn to hit on.
Swing and a miss as Rocco just blows it by her. That is 5 straight strikeouts. Rocco's dialed in. It's 2 away. Our doubleheader here, one of 2 doubleheaders in MIAA softball action today, as Albion was also hosting St. Mary's. The Brits took game 1 5-2, but St. Mary's struck back, taking game 2 8-0 for the split in that one.
And then we got a pinch batter here, Zola Smith, number 32 in red, stepping into the batter's box for the first time.
Smith will swing and miss at the first offering. On the season so far, 0 for 10 for Smith with 1 walk. This one goes high and outside, evens the count at 1-1.
Feel like she's looking to make some big contact here, as for her first hack was pretty strong.
Takes strike 2. This time as Rocco setting herself up to potentially strike out the side for the 2nd inning in a row. This one flied out to center, coming in and making the catch is Landry Fridsma, a dive to end the inning. Comets go down in order. Fridsma comes up a little gingerly on the ankle. We'll see if she's all right, as she's due to lead off the bottom of the 6th for the Hornets, coming up after a quick break. Bottom of the 6th, Hornets looking to add some insurance runs to a 6-4 lead here. Landry Fritzma after her diving catch in center to lead things off. First pitch inside, ball 1.
Yeah, honestly, I encourage a lot of people to go back to any type of play Fritzma can make, because the dives, her slides, everything out that she does there in center field, it's just done with such precision and grace.
Fritzma, as you mentioned, having sort of a routine strong day in the field, as she's known to do. At the plate, she had 2 hits in game 1. So far, game 2, 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Now a 3-0 count here to lead off this 6th inning. Jarvie finds the outside corner. It's 3-1.
Jarvie doing a good job of just barely clipping the outside area of the strike zone. Chokes up Fritzma, then gets herself a strike in the count.
3-1 offering, swung on and grounded through the hole on the right side. It's a leadoff single for Landry Fritzma. And they'll send Grace Rocco to the plate. Rocco trying to help herself out as she's been working in the circle with this 2-run lead.
Yeah, and objectively, I feel like those kind of poke through the gaps singles is harder to do between that second and first base gap than it is through that shortstop and third base gap.
Fritzma takes off for second on the first pitch, and she dives in safely. It's strike 1 on Rocco, but Fritzma quickly down to second base.
Yeah, and an elite decision to start sliding very early. Felt like she still had a couple steps that she could have had before dropping down the slide, but slid early and kind of got ahead of the catch.
A 1 pitch grounded towards short and off the glove of Ramos. Circling third and coming home to score is Fritzma. Rocco's got a single. That one's into the gap on the left side. I certainly don't think that Ramos was likely to be able to throw her out, but had she gotten her glove on it, could have at least prevented Fritzma from scoring. In any case, the Hornets came into this inning looking to add on the lead, and now they do. It's 7-4. And a pinch runner coming in here for the Hornets. It's Elizabeth Jones, the starting pitcher today. Will pinch run for Rocco at first base.
A player of many talents. Some pitching talent, some hitting talent, and now some pinch runner talent.
Jones is listed as a pitcher/outfielder on the Hornets roster. So capable of playing both ways as Ella Newman pops the first pitch foul and out of play. So Rocco, of course, relieved Jones on the mound earlier today, and now with Jones pinch running for Rocco, we'll see which of them enter the circle for the 7th inning. But before we get there, we'll see if the Hornets can keep building on this lead. Now 7-4, the bottom of the 6th, no outs and a runner on first. Newman squares the bunt but pulls it back. Makes the count 2-1. As I mentioned just a few minutes ago, Albion and St. Mary's split their doubleheader earlier today. That was the final games of their regular season. This one gets way away, all the way to the backstop. It'll be ball 3 on Newman, and Jones heads to second on the wild pitch. With that doubleheader split for St. Mary's and Albion, the Hornets can pull ahead of St. Mary's for what would currently be 5th place in the conference if they can get a win here. This one popped over, and a running catch made by Kylie Ramos near that third base line, coming over from shortstop to make the catch for the first out.
And you know, Newman can take that break. You know, I think she's not necessarily mad at that pop out, only because Newman has had a single in the first, the second, and the 4th inning, a silent contributor. Her bat has been pretty awake this whole second game, so I think she'll be okay with some contact here. Obviously, unfortunate not able to get on base with it.
There's strike 1 to Ward, and certainly, yeah, 3 hits, 2 RBIs in this second game for Newman. A strong performance even with the pop out there. Now Macy Ward looking to add on to what's already been a strong day for her as well. She'll foul that one back, make the count 0-2. Ward started this game in left field. Swap places with London Rab to take over in right, back in the 4th. Now ready for the 0-2 offering from Elliott Jarvie. That one's up and away. Jarvie gets the sign, now back on the rubber. Digs that left foot back and kicks forward for the pitch. That one line to shortstop, right at Ramos out there, and that is out number 2. And the Hornets will make a change here. Grabbing a bat, coming off the bench to pinch hit is Emma Newlove. The Hornets senior shortstop will bat for Delaney Lee here.
Yeah, and I did expect a pinch batter just because Delaney Lee has had a little bit of trouble in conference play of just waking up her bat today. Had a ground out and a fly out so far, so just trying to look for something to get some productivity out in the field, and I feel like Emma Newlove leading in home runs. Definitely willing to make some contact here.
Weak contact she'll make. Grounded back to the pitcher and off the glove of the first baseman. Around third, coming home to score is Jones. The Hornets tack on another run with the error. That'll make it an 8-4 ball game.
And any contact is good contact because you can force something to happen on the field. Newlove coming in as a power hitter kind of sends a dribbler out right in front of her, kind of a swinging bunt, and still somehow manages to get to get first base out of it, as well as to bring Rocco in and to score.
Now J.C. Ryder takes the first pitch, low and inside. It just gets away from Winky long enough for Newlove to take second. After the wild pitch, we'll get another visit out to the circle from Michaela Hamilton, the Olivet head coach in her 5th season at the helm of the program.
Yeah, and I think a well-timed talking to, just because, I mean, Newlove getting on first and Rocco coming in to score, not necessarily on Jarvie right there, right? Especially kind of give your infield some time to regroup and talk about it, because sometimes I think as a pitcher it's easy to put things on yourself. And right there, just taking a moment, taking a breath to bring herself back into this game.
So from one senior to the next, New Love, then Ryder. JC Ryder going to try to drive in her senior teammate. And this one skips away from Wenke again, and New Love's down to third base.
And the way that got away, you wouldn't think that New Love has enough time to get down to third, but because New Love made that decision, stuck with it, stayed confident, and just ran her way down to third, she had enough time to get there confidently.
This one skips into the glove of Wenke, just able to stay with it to prevent what would have been a third consecutive wild pitch. And as you mentioned, the pitch prior, New Love, that confidence. Once she saw that ball start to get away from Wenke, she put her head down and took off for third base. And that's ball 4. It's a 4-pitch walk for JC Ryder. And with 2 outs and runners now on the corners, Ava Domzalski coming back into the batter's box. Domzalski already with 2 hits in this ball game, and we're going to get a new pitcher for Olivet. The Comets will turn to Alicia Gann, the Game 1 starter. Returning to the circle here, the bottom of the 6th of Game 2. Trying to get the final out of this 6th inning to keep the deficit at 4 for the Comets going into their final time at the plate in the top of the 7th.
Yeah, so Gann, adopts a runner, or 2 should I say, adopts 2 runners, but she does come in with the confidence of knowing that she's faced every single batter on this lineup in Game 1. And sometimes, it could give some confidence or might take away some confidence, but I think in this case it can offer her some confidence in the terms of, okay, I know what I need to pitch, I know what I'm comfortable with, I'm already warm from Game 1, I've seen these batters before, there's nothing new and there's nothing scary here. As she tries, as you said, to get the last out and just get this game moving to the 7th.
And ironically, actually, she will face the one batter for the Hornets who was not in their lineup for Game 1 in Domzalski. So like you mentioned, warmed up from Game 1, comfortable, but facing a new hitter here in Domzalski. She'll sneak strike 1 across the inside corner. This one misses up and away.
And right now the Hornets have some room to do maybe a little special play. You can try a squeeze play and have Domzalski try to outrun the throw down to first. And maybe if you have New Love tease in enough, it can distract the throw down to first and get everybody safe on the bases.
Domzalski did execute a sacrifice bunt back in the 3rd, but has not bunted for a hit. She'll take strike 2 as Gann finds the inside corner once again. Another thing I've seen the Hornets' opponents do several times this year is have their runner from first take off in a 1st and 3rd situation, as Domzalski lines that one foul down the third base line. But so far, JC Ryder has stayed put over at first base.
And with that, Ryder can also take her time making her way down to second. Maybe try to force the throw down and to beat it out and have New Love come into home. So a couple options here for the Hornets.
And a swing and a miss. Domzalski's down on strikes. The inning is over, but the Hornets do add 2 insurance runs. We head to the 7th, Olivet's last chance at the plate. They're trailing 8-4. Top of the 7th. Comets down to their last plate appearances here. And it'll be a pinch hitter to start things off. Maya Wiggins swings and misses at the first offering from Rocco.
So a fellow Maya up to bat. Always nice to see. We'll say a little bit of a difference in first name spelling, but nonetheless, still a Maya.
Swing and a miss again as she can't catch up.
And that's why the role of pinch hitting is so hard sometimes. You come in fresh, you really haven't been used anywhere else, and then here you go, expected to be up to speed with the pitcher.
And swings and misses at 3 straight there. Grace Rocco now up to a career-high 6 strikeouts in this ball game. And over on the baseball diamond, the Comets finish off the Hornets 6-1 in game 1 of their series for Olivet Baseball's senior day. There's strike 1 on Kylie Ramos. Tomorrow that baseball series turns here to Woodworth Field. It'll be the Hornets senior day and compete for a cause game in that doubleheader. Another swing and a miss from Ramos as Rocco continues to be strong in the circle.
Yeah, and quick, fluid motions from Rocco. You can see her just quickly working through her mechanics, staying consistent.
Swing and a miss again. 6 pitches, 6 strikes to start this 7th inning, and it's back-to-back strikeouts. That's one time through the Comets' order for Grace Rocco. 9 batters faced, and she struck out 7 of them. Elliot Jarvie steps up and also swings and misses at her first pitch. She singled off of Rocco to lead off the 5th inning.
Has a swaggy pink bat. Trying to extend this one.
And takes strike 2 on the inside corner. Rocco and the Hornets 1 strike away from finishing off a doubleheader sweep and moving into 5th place in the MIAA. This one up high. 1-2 the count now.
And you'd expect that can get a little antsy, right? Looking at the last strike. Now you got that out of your nervous system, ready to lock back into this one, dig back into the dirt, revert back to your mechanics.
The 1-2 pitch swung on and fouled off the netting on the right side. Count remains 1-2.
Yeah, and you had to step into the mindset of both pitcher and batter right now. Jarvie thinking, I got to make contact, but Rocco thinking, I got to get this strike.
Swing and a miss. Rocco gets it done. 8 strikeouts through 3 innings out of the bullpen from Grace Rocco. Nails down a win for the Hornets. 8-4 your final in Game 2 after an 8-0 victory in Game 1. Maya, your thoughts on this Hornet softball team sweeping the Comets?
Well, it was a continuation in terms of bats, right? From that first game, they came alive. But you know who also came alive? This Olivet team, able to score those 4 runs. Just beautiful work by them as well. But something you got to tip your hat off to is the pitching. Whether it was Potts, Jones, or Grace Rocco, all 3 of those pitchers that have showed out today showed out to the T. Like, their pitching was just flawless today. A lot of them just reverted back to the basic mechanics, got very fluid with their motions. I feel like it was one of the main things I was talking about this game is just how every pitcher was very comfortable within themselves, getting these strikeouts. You had a couple career strikeout moments for some pitchers, and it goes to show, right? You were able to hold on to the lead. Yes, Olivet came alive in Game 2, but so did your pitching, and so did your bats, able to back you up like that, even able to clean up a couple errors happening in the second game, which you can now look past because you get the W here. You win 8-4. I mean, that's just some beautiful work here from this Hornet side, defensively, offensively, and a big shout-out to the pitching and for the Comets as well. Able to come back, major improvement from that Game 1 performance, and then able to just come alive more and more in this second game. So major ups to both teams, and with the Hornets coming out on top with both games, exactly the outcome that they were looking for.
Absolutely, and the Hornet pitching really stood out to me today as well. Again, Matty Potts in game one, collecting the second shutout of the season for Kalamazoo with a career high in strikeouts. Elizabeth Jones gets her team high 4th win of the season here in game two. Grace Rocco then knocks down the first save of the season for the Hornets, as each of their prior victories had come with a pitcher throwing a complete game. Rocco again also adding a career high in strikeouts. Just phenomenal work from these Hornets pitchers, and again the bats came alive as well. Really a complete team effort to finish off a pair of wins here. The Hornets improved to 7-25. Olivet falls to 2-32. Both teams will finish off their season with one more doubleheader in MIAA action. The Comets off to Adrian tomorrow for a doubleheader starting at 1 p.m. The Hornets will host Trine here on Sunday at the Kalamazoo College softball field. Those games will start at 1 p.m. We'll hope to see you then.